Okay, this video is meant to be for Christian nurses, doctors, whoever wants to know some of this nonsense going on behind the scenes where research facilities are doing. There is this article published March 18, 2020 by the Washington Post. It says the Washington Post has a theme underneath it. It says democracy dies in darkness. You know how Subway has Eat Fresh and stuff? Okay. So, democracy dies in darkness. Okay, so that means we have the right and we have the freedom, according to our Constitution, of speech, right? So, I'm going to exercise some of my freedom right now. This is, and everybody has a right to their opinion and their speech. So, I was a lab tech in the U.S. Army because I was very interested in how things work and how things operate and doing research, and I love learning. Well, you can continue learning no matter what environment you're in. And anybody in the medical field knows that you must keep yourself learning because things aren't always what they seem. And the more you learn, the more you know you don't know. This is the article. It was called Trump Ban on Fetal Tissue Research Blocks Coronavirus Treatment Effort. This is what I'm reading with what I've done the research. This lingo, this is the truth, it says. Because Trump doesn't agree with us using aborted babies, now we can't continue on our disgusting plan to inject human beings with junk in their blood from other either live or dead babies donated by their own mothers when they went to try to get an abortion. If that's not disgusting enough. Anyway, so there's the certain things in there that talks about. It says a doctor trained. I'm sorry. What I was gonna say is that this article says things like mice were transplanted with human fetal tissue, and they call it in quotation marks humanized mice. What does that mean? That means they place human DNA inside the body of a mouse. That's disgusting. I'm not sure if you're familiar that the word pharmaceutical comes from a Latin word called pharmakia. It's also translated into magic, sorcery, witchcraft. If you do a little bit of research, how pharmacy works, what they use for making medicines, the ingredients, and how they go about doing it, you will for sure, if you do your research, you will realize it is disgusting. And these things that are being injected or that are being administered to human beings are really full of filth. They can treat the symptoms, but think about it. Is it really going to cure them? Do you really want to take away a headache because somebody didn't sleep enough? Or do you really want to just tell them you need to rest instead of giving them something that can give them a side effect in their future from their kidneys? Or worse, that new medicine for diabetes, it says it could cause cancer. Please educate yourself on what you are prescribing to your patients or what you are administering. Look at the paper inside the box. At least make a copy and read it. You are responsible. You are going to be judged by God by everything that you do, whether you know it or not. Sometimes It's tough to think. It's tough to think that we are responsible for something we didn't know about. Yet, you don't know about it because you're blindly trusting the system. But you are greater than the system because greater is He that is in you than he who is in the world. Just a little bit about this article. It says no therapies or vaccines are in effect have been developed for the new coronavirus. To me, this is what it's saying. There's nothing that we can give them that we can monitor to keep them, like, to take away the symptom. But there is many cures. There is many preventions. And you know that the pH, you know that viruses can't survive in certain surfaces, in certain temperatures, in certain environments. When you change the environment of the air, mouth, and nose, such as breathing a hot vapor of cinnamon oil or a hot vapor of eucalyptus, it changes the atmosphere. There's many cures, there's many things that we can be done. Lemon juice is extremely potent. Ginger, but of course that cannot be regulated and it is illegal. But there are cures. This guy, Hassan Crook, that's his last name, has been forbidden by the federal officials to talk publicly. It says, since the administration began to reconsider fetal tissue. And it's shamming the Trump administration over and over. Even calls them hostile to the research. That's ridiculous. And in mocking them, saying that they, I forget the exact quote, but it was something about dignity of human life. That is such a noble cause. You know, taxpayers do not need to be paying research that relies on babies, on fetuses. And it's not always tissue. It's not always dead. It's not. Sometimes it's live babies. Think about how sad that is. If you are a parent, that your wife, or if you are a mom, that you would donate your baby because you can't take care of him, because you got raped, because whatever. You would donate your baby to get mutilated in a lab, to get injected with viruses, and to get junk, to get tore up in pieces, and would you donate your baby? Think about how unethical that is. I am so disgusted, and I am only a human being. Think about what God is thinking. Think of all these disgusting practices. These vaccines are made from fetal cells. Human immunoglobulin means the serum from babies. That means baby's blood. And others, like Synagis, which is supposedly not called a vaccine, it's made with rat blood. Murine immunoglobulin. Just do a little bit of your research. And do you really want to inject, I don't know the word, disgusting things made by the devil's agenda into human DNA, into human bodies? It is disgusting practice, and God is going to shut it down. There is a better way. Think about who you're living for, and I pray that you consider these things and do some research and prayer. If you're a Christian, yeah, there's going to be a lot of people saying a lot of stupid things because they're so brainwashed. But this video is only for Christians. That means people who love God and are trying to live by Him. Even though you call yourself a Christian, if you don't try to live by God, then count yourself out of this. God bless you, and we are praying for you.